Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Friday, July 26th, 2024. So since it's Friday, July 26th, which is Friday, July 2 times 13, were you unlucky when doing this crossword?
No,
Really?
not at all.
You were lucky?
I was lucky because I got it done.
Oh, okay. Did you have any difficulty?
Even though I don't really believe in luck.
I see. When it comes to crosswords, I definitely believe in luck.
No.
I think sometimes if you're going in one direction, you might get something, and if you're going in the other direction, you just might not see it.
Could be, but
I have no proof. This is mere conjecture on my part.
you should do a study.
Yes. Well, the New York Times must have petabytes worth of data on all their crosswords and how they're being solved. It would be so much fun, but they'll never release that data.
I doubt
I'm sure it's all proprietary, and
Yep,
they immediately just send it to their advertisers.
that's true.
But yeah, so you didn't have much trouble with the crossword, or
No, not really for Friday. I mean, it took me 35 minutes. But, Fridays many times take me an hour and a half. So,
really?
Mm-hmm. So I felt pretty good about this one.
Okay. Well, it took me a much longer than that because my spelling skills were just being tested like they've never been tested.
Oh, no.
And I kept getting an F on those tests.
Uh-huh.
Like we had words like parasail. And I'm like, okay, it's probably, I wasn't sure if it was, I was thinking it was based on parachute, but I was thinking, parasail. So I wasn't sure if that second A should have been an I.
Oh.
And then we had a 23 across, which we've seen before, garment for a vaquero. And that was a serape. Serape. See, I can't even pronounce it. I certainly was having trouble and was a little bit unsure as to how to spell it. 20 across, the samurai's sword. I eventually remembered it was katana after I got all the letters and recognized it. It's just like, oh yeah, that's what the mutant turtles, I believe, have on their backs.
Oh, really?
Yep.
See, I got the K-A-T and I thought, I know, it's Katani. And I spelled it with an I at the end. And so then I got the puzzle all filled in and it didn't solve. And I'm like, where's the mistake? And I was just sure it was Katani. But then when I looked at the one going down where I put the I, 5 down was capital city whose main governmental building is known as the House of Pizarro. I had a Lima, Peru, instead of a Lima. So that's when I changed the I to an A, and it solved.
That would have been a tip-off. I mean, conceivably, there could be a Lima, Peru, but not as its capital
and
city.
I thought I put in Lima, Peru, but I guess I didn't.
Well, maybe you did, and then you replaced it with Katani.
Could have been, yeah.
Even 4 across, I can't remember what I had. Oh, I'll tell you, I started off very poorly. Letters of coverage. I thought, I know this one, HMO. And so, which meant that 1 down, go after was hunt. And so I felt pretty good about hunt and HMO until it turned out that letters of coverage were SPF,
That's right.
which is much more amusing. And that meant that 1 down, go after was seek.
Uh-huh. I got SPF pretty quickly because 3 down was not identical, say. And I thought, they're talking about twins,
right.
Identical versus fraternal. So I knew the third letter was F. That tipped me off right away. SPF for lotion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had right. I had the last 3 letters of NAL, and I thought, it's got something to do with original, like unoriginal or something, which doesn't really make a lot of sense in hindsight. But it took me a while to get to fraternal because, like 14 across, metonym for attention was ear. That took a bit, and I like the fact that the answer directly beneath it was an anagram of that. 17 across, phase was era.
Right.
And that took me a bit to get.
Mm-hmm. Yes, me too.
18 across, departure announcement. So I was thinking it was going to be something like all aboard.
Oh, yeah.
And then I eventually realized I had I'm out of here, but they wanted to be slightly slangier. I'm out of here.
That's right.
So, and then 22 across was amusing. French buns, derriere.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, croissant.
That was my first thought.
Right.
Croissant.
But I thought those really aren't buns.
No.
I mean, they're croissants.
No, they're not, I guess. I thought a pain au chocolat. Yep.
32 across, bushbounders was ruse.
Yes.
That was nice. And did you know 24 down, wood that sinks in water was ebony?
I didn't, but I had the E and the B, so I thought, oh, it's ebony.
You know, I think I had I'm not sure if I had any letters there, but I was thinking, well, it's either ivory or ebony. And then I thought ivory is not a wood, so we could rule that one out. So I was able to, and then we had the literary 27 across, Melville character with the mantra, I would prefer not to. And that was Bartleby.
Bartleby, yes.
Good old Bartleby. 9 down, personality indicator, some say, was a star sign.
Right.
You know, I'm used to that phrase, sign. Hey, babe, what's your sign?
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone in any situation say, hey, what's your star sign?
No.
It seemed a little bit formal.
And, you know, when, I don't know if that's really an old term. I don't ever remember people talking about star signs. You know, they talk about horoscopes, which is what your star sign is supposed to tell you.
Isn't it really your zodiac? I mean, it's a zodiac. It's a constellation in the zodiac, right?
Right. But I never heard, I mean, I suppose, yeah, that phrase, what's your sign?
You're right. Now, what's your star sign?
To star sign, but I never heard, like, what's your star sign? Like, what's your horoscope? Oh, I'm Aquarius. Oh.
Speaking of things that I haven't heard, 30 down was rhyming subject for an English major, and the answer was lit crit.
Yes.
I wanted it to be crit lit.
Well, that's what I thought, too. First I thought it was kid lit, but that doesn't really rhyme. But
no.
Children's literature, I know I have had friends who have had to take courses on children's literature they call it kid lit. But,
well, that's cute.
But no, I was thinking, yeah, critical literature, but maybe it's literature critique.
Actually, it's literary criticism. That's the official name.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I've ever taken a course in literary criticism.
No.
One day. Let's see. 9 across was amusing. They're often around 2 feet. Socks.
Right.
It's like, what's around 2 feet?
I put shoes to begin with.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Yeah, but it turned out to be socks.
Right, because you needed that O for 10 down. I didn't see you there. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. Yes.
And then you needed the C for Radiohead's highest selling single. That was Creep.
I did not know that. But I did know the one next to it, 12 down. 3-time Olympic gold medalist, Carrie Walsh Jennings.
Yes, I'll take your word for it, and the New York Times word for it. Let's see, 38 down. I felt badly that I could not remember this one. Catchphrase for Austin Powers, oh, behave.
Yes.
Once I got it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember that.
I had the V, and I thought, oh, it's something groovy. Didn't he say groovy?
Yes.
I actually never saw those movies, but you see so many little clips here and there on social media.
You've probably seen the entire movie,
yeah.
just in pieces and not in order.
But, oh, behave.
I was very proud with my answer for 47 down. Took off the board. I said tabled.
Oh.
But it was erased.
Yes.
I guess you would, I don't know if you'd take it off the board, you'd probably take it off the table when you table it.
Right.
So anyway, so in retrospect, my the answer I was so proud of makes no sense, but erased does, and that was amusing.
I liked 39 down. Office Max, term limit.
Yes, that was brilliant. And then we had a 52 down, cold call, a chew.
Yeah, that was another good one.
I had trouble with 54 across. Predictive text. I thought it was going to be like autocorrect or auto spell or something like that, spell check, but it was prophecy.
Right.
That was good and literal. Did you know 59 across? Best-selling author of 2017's The Hate You Give, Angie Thomas?
No, I did not. I've heard of that, The Hate You Give, but I didn't know who wrote it.
You know,
Angie Thomas.
I had a few letters, and I was thinking it was going to be like, I don't know, Angula or something like that. I just sort of started hallucinating letters, but eventually I went for the conventional Angie Thomas. But there too, my spelling skills were put to the test, and I failed. 62 across. Jason of Aquaman. I know it's Jason Momoa, the name that cannot be spelled just by saying it out loud.
Momoa.
Momo. See, I say Momoa.
Oh.
How do you say it?
Momoa.
You say Momoa?
Momoa.
Really?
I guess I say Momoa.
Which is an sound, and as everyone
so you
knows,
wanted to put a U in it, or
no, I wanted to put an E in it.
oh,
Momoa. It's fun to say, and that crossed with 49 down. Oops, my mistake, and it was or not.
Right.
That was a stretch. That was a Friday clue.
Definitely.
I ended up at 64 across. South Park Kid. It was 3 letters long, and the only kids that I know of that have been in the crossword lately, the only one that's been in the crossword lately was Stu, S-T-U.
Oh.
But I didn't think that was for South Park. And so I had 58 down. Let's see, Mother of the Titans was GAEA.
Yes.
So I thought, it's G-A-I-A, which meant that 64 across was Icky, I-K-I.
Right.
And I thought, okay, sort of an unusual name. I started doubting the K, but 39 down, Venomous Reef Dweller was sea snake.
Yes.
Unless that K was wrong, but I'm like, is it a sea snape? That doesn't sound right. I went through the whole alphabet, and it's just like it's got to be a K. And then I'm looking all over the crossword. I'm not finding anything, and I took a hard look at Icky. And I thought, that answer is Icky. And then I went and tried, I thought, I'll just go for the vowels for GAEA. Maybe I've misspelled GAEA, but I'm like, sure it's got an I, but it didn't. It had an E.
It had an E. Yes, I looked that up later.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was spelled GAEA, GAEA, Mother of the Titans. So,
but most of the time it's IA, right?
I don't know. I thought maybe they were 2 different goddesses, but I'm not sure.
No, I think they're the same.
Oh, you think they're the same?
Well, and of course, I say that on the basis of a conversation with ChatGPT. I
said they were the same.
It says they refer to the same figure in Greek mythology, the personification of the earth and one of the primordial deities.
Oh, okay.
And GAEA with an I is the more common in modern spelling, while GAEA with an E is an alternative transliteration of the ancient Greek. Both names are used interchangeably in literature and mythology.
Wow.
Of course, every single thing I just said there could have been wrong, except for the grammar. That was a grammatically perfect answer.
Okay.
And I think factually as well.
Well, very good.
All right. I think we've covered most of the critical clues here, including LitCrit. So it is Friday, though, so we should, before we wrap it up, talk about Fun Fact Friday. Do you have a fun fact for Fun Fact Friday?
I do have a fun fact for Fun Fact Friday.
Oh, good.
On Wednesday, we had the very graphic portrayal of a claw machine in the crossword.
Right.
So I just have a few fun facts about the claw machine.
All right.
So first of all, the claw machine is also known as a skill crane, claw crane, or crane games. And in Japan, it's called a UFO catcher because they think the claw looks like a UFO. The first ones were created in the late 19th century, and they were inspired by machines used to build the Panama Canal.
Huh.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
And then the first one was actually patented in 1926, it was invented, and it was called the Erie digger, inspired by the creation of the Erie Canal. And then they had the Miami digger. And then in the 1930s, specifically during the Great Depression, they were used as carnival attractions and as furniture, actually, in public places. By the 1980s, claw machines were ubiquitous in both the United States and Japan. The success of the UFO catcher, which was produced by Sega, a common crossword word, in the 1980s and 90s, inspired a claw machine craze in the latter country, that being Japan.
Wow.
And so they are very popular still, both in the U.S. and in Japan. But just another little fun fact about Japan, with Sega and then also Taito designing trolley-style claw machines in the 1960s, where they actually had like various rows of one claw machine after another, so they were kind of like looking like a trolley. Sega released their UFO catcher claw machine in 1985 and made their first shipment in 1986. It sold 10,000 cabinets by 1981. Its popularity inspiring Sega's creation of Dreamcatcher in 1989 and new UFO catcher in 1991. By 1994, they had sold over 40,000, making it Sega's best-selling game of all time at that time.
Wow.
And the term UFO catcher became synonymous with the crane games in Japan.
Huh.
So it is extremely popular in Japan, also in Korea, South Korea, and Taiwan.
Even now?
Even now. And I'm getting this from Wikipedia. It did mention in popular culture that in Toy Story, Buzz Lightyear and Sheriff Woody climb into a claw mending machine filled with claw-worshipping aliens.
Right.
And then Woody actually gets chosen.
Oh.
So I believe that's correct.
Okay.
Or maybe it was Buzz. I don't remember. And I don't remember. But one of them gets chosen, and they have to go rescue him.
I see.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, a few fun facts about claw machines.
The claw.
Mm-hmm.
The UFO catcher.
They are considered gambling machines in the U.S. because it is a game of chance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All those little 7-year-old gamblers.
Yes.
Starting them early.
Uh-huh.
So, all right. Well, thank you very much for that. And I think that is it for today. So remember, you can always get a hold of us, crosswordpodcast at iCloud.com. If you want to write to us with your earliest memories of playing the claw machine, please do.
Oh, yes.
Or if you want to write about any other early memories or recent memories, feel free to do that as well. Crosswordpodcast at iCloud.com.
Especially with the claw machine, if you ever won anything.
Yes. Yeah.
I've played the claw machine a few times. I have never, ever won anything.
I don't know if I've ever played that, but...
It was many years ago, but no.
I'm going to rush out right now and see if I can find an open arcade.
Yep.
All right.
That sounds like fun.
All right, that's it for today. So thanks, everyone. Thanks for making this one of the most popular podcasts about the New York Times crossword to come out of Northeast Wisconsin. And we will be back again with our cutting-edge analysis of tomorrow's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.